My municipal husband's high school is bankrupt, so she came back to steal my eminent domain payout. Transfer 180. Eleanor said. I set my chopsticks down. What? Brielle's company's hit a snag and needs bridge money. She plucked another piece of meat. That condemnation award you've been sitting on is still in savings, right? In the living room, my husband kept his head bowed over his rice, mute. I looked from her to him. That money came from my parents. Your piddly award? She smacked her chopsticks onto the table. Back then she stepped aside for you. Show a little gratitude. I froze. Stepped aside? I laughed. Mom, I don't care who Brielle is, but 1.8 million, I stood. Belongs to the Lynns, not the Colburns. The dining room air turned sub-zero. Eleanor's face blanched, her chopstick still hovering midair. Chase finally looked up. Lena, what are you saying? Which part wasn't true? 1.8 million. I cut him off. My parents got that after the county took to houses. It's titled in my name. Why should it go to anyone else? She slammed her chopsticks down. Anyone else? Brielle and Chase were college, so? College gives her the right to borrow 1.8 million. It's not a loan, it's help. I stared at her. Her gaze slid away. What kind of help? I asked. Don't butt in. Chase suddenly rose. I'll handle this. You'll handle what? My money, Lena? He barked. I didn't flinch. 5 years of marriage, and it was the first time he'd raised his voice for Brielle. His college high-school. His high school. Chase, I said quietly, answer one thing. He scowled. Who is Brielle to you? Silence said everything. I nodded and headed upstairs. Where do you think you're going? Eleanor called. To bed. We're not finished. I paused on the landing. We are. 1.8 million, no. I ignored her and walked up. Closing the bedroom door, I leaned against it and inhaled. My hands trembled, not from fear, from fury. Brielle. I hadn't heard that name in 5 years. Before the wedding, Chase told me he'd had a college high school. Things ended because personalities clashed. I asked, do you still love her? He said, it's ancient history. I'd believed him, looking back, hilarious. My phone buzzed. Zoe, did you know Brielle's back? Word is her company tanked and she's drowning in debt. My fingers froze. Next ping, she's hitting people up for cash. Watch your husband. Hit my husband for cash? I laughed bitterly. No need, my mother-in-law was already playing debt collector for her. I tossed the phone on the bed and stared at the ceiling. Why would Eleanor lobby for Brielle? Why was Chase so jumpy? Why the another buzz? Not a message, an East Bank text alert. Not my phone, his. He'd left it on the nightstand while grabbing clothes. The screen glowed. ACCTN 3326, October 15th, transfer 50,000.00. Sam 2,341.67. 50,000. To whom? I picked up the phone, fingerprint unlock. He'd never hidden anything. Opened the banking app and scrolled. Oct 15, 50K, recipient, Brielle. Swipe up. Sep 28, 30K, recipient, Brielle. Sep 10, 20K, recipient, Brielle. August, Jewel, Jun. Line after line, 2023, 2022, 2021, 3 years. I counted. 40-7 transfers, total $870,000, 870 grand. I make 8,000 a month, he's paid 12. Where did the money come from? For 5 years I kept the books. He swore he had no stash. That family shares everything, he said. Ha. I set the phone down, the ceiling blurred. Not tears. Rage. Lena, you idiot, 5 years a fool. The door opened. Chase walked in, saw me, paused. You're awake? Yup. He grabbed the phone. I watched. Chase, You wired 50 out today. His hand twitched, barely perceptible. Work thing. Which work? Project needs float money, comes back in a few days. He wouldn't meet my eyes. I smiled. Okay. He exhaled and lay down. Lena, I shouldn't have shouted downstairs. Forget it. You know how mom is, bites first, thinks later. Let Brielle go, will you? Sure, we're just friends. Friends, $870,000, 47 wires, 3 years. I shut my eyes. I understand. He rolled over and was snoring in minutes, 0 load on his conscience. I stared into the dark. Chase. You think I'm buying that? Next morning he left for work. I called in sick. After dropping Noah at preschool, I drove straight to Eastbrook. Hi, I'd like to see my husband's statements. Authorization? No, not really. The teller smiled politely. Then I can't release them. I rephrased. How about our mortgage payment history? Are you a co-borrower? Yes. She tapped the keyboard. Paid monthly, no issues. From which account? And 3,326. His slush fund, I nodded. Could I have a printout of that account for the last 3 years? It's his personal account, we'd need his signature. I left. She added softly, ma'am, talk to him first if you're worried. Talk to a man who's lied for 3 years. I smiled. Okay, outside I sat in the car, mind blank, $870,000. How'd he manage it? Salaries passed through me, I managed the savings, unless his public pension. Before we bought the condo, I'd asked if we should cash it. Keep it for emergencies, he'd said. I'd shrugged. Municipal posts contribute over $3,000 a month, 5 years, almost to OK. That still leaves $670. I phoned Zoe. Can your cousin, the loan officer, still fish for records? What's wrong? I want credit card history. Whose? My husband's. She hesitated. I recapped yesterday. She gasped. $870,000? He's nuts. I need proof. I'll ask. After hanging up, I opened Chase's Alipay. His passcode mirrors his phone. Sure enough, transfers didn't match the bank. He'd split them large chunks via Eastbrook, small change via Alipay. Hundreds to thousands, flying under the radar. I screenshot. In contacts, Briel's avatar jumped out: long hair, red lips, textbook high school filter. Latest post, 3 days ago: life hits rock bottom, but good people pull you up. Grateful for the one who's always there. Photo of a latte and a man's hand wearing a watch. I recognized the watch. My wedding anniversary gift, tisset to months of my paychecks. He'd said he loved it, wore it daily, sure on dates with high school. Scroll down. Sep 20, hot pot weather, thanks for dinner. 2 sets of chopsticks. August 15, happy birthday to moi, thanks for being you. Cake plus roses. Zoom in on the bouquet wrapper, says bloom and glow. I knew the shop. Last birthday I'd told him I'd love flowers. He'd said, waste of money, useless, useless. I tossed the phone away. Flowers for her. Money for her. Sugar for her. Lena, what are you even getting? At noon Zoe called back. Got it, she muttered. Ready? Hit me. He has 3 cards to repaid from your joint debit, 1 in his name. Credit line? $200,000, balance, $187. I tightened my grip. Since when? October 2021. 3 years mirrors the transfers. Anything else? A consumer loan, $300,000, 5-year term, taken last year. 300 loan? Used for? No clue, but timing says it fed the same woman. I did the math. Deferred comp to 100 plastic 187, personal loan 300 random bonuses, adds up to about 87. Okay. Lena, what exactly did you marry? That afternoon I went to the preschool to pick up Noah. He's 4, all cheeks and energy. The moment he spotted me, he threw himself forward. Mommy. I scooped him up and smacked a kiss on his forehead. Were you good today? Super good. The teacher praised me. Awesome. I carried him toward the gate. Just outside the entrance, a woman was standing. Long hair, red lips, the textbook high school face. Briel. She gave me a smile when she saw me. Cameron, long time no see. I stopped in my tracks. Noah, still in my arms, studied her curiously. Mommy, who's that lady? I didn't answer. Briel stepped closer. Cameron, can we talk in private? No time. I shifted Noah onto my hip and walked around her toward the parking lot. She followed. Cameron, I know you might misunderstand me. Misunderstand? I halted and looked back. Briel, you and my husband wired $870,000 back and forth for 3 years. Tell me, what exactly am I misunderstanding? She blinked, then smiled. You did your homework fast. What do you want? She moved in front of me and locked eyes. I'm saying you don't have to wear yourself out like this. Meaning? Chase and I, college, high school, we're the people who get each other best. I gave a cold laugh. So every penny he gave me, he gave willingly. I never begged, he insisted. Willingly? Yes. She took another half step, voice dropping. Cameron, if I hadn't stepped aside back then, he never would have married you. My fists clenched. Believe me? She said, still smiling. If I want him back, he's mine in a heartbeat. Noah pressed tighter against me, sensing the tension. Mommy, I drew a slow breath and set him down. Sweetie, go wait in the car. Mommy needs a minute with this auntie. But good boy. Go. He glanced from me to Briel, then scampered to the back seat. I turned to her. Finished? Not quite. She cocked her head. Cameron, that 1.8 million eminent domain payout will save my life. Think of it as helping him repay a favor. A favor? She flashed a saccharine smile. Everything you've got now, husband, child, Riley, I handed to you. I studied her for a long moment. Then I smiled too. I handed them to you, yes. Then take them back. She froze. Take it all, money, man. I don't want any of it. I spun away, climbed in, slammed the door, fired the engine. In the rearview mirror she stood motionless, face chalk white. From his booster Noah whispered, Mommy, is that lady a bad person? I met his eyes in the mirror. Remember one thing, sweetheart, what if it isn't yours? Don't grab it. I drove Noah home and handed him to the nanny. Then I called Zoe. Zoe, do you know a good lawyer? Divorce lawyer? Start with a consultation. All right, my cousin's friend handles family law tough as nails. Great. That evening Chase came home early. Grocery bag swinging, Lena. Got off work sooner than usual, bought your favorite strawberries. I glanced at the plastic clamshell. How much per pound? 30, I think. Didn't check. 30 a pound, 2 pounds, 60 bucks, yeah so? I set down the bowl I was washing. Chase, you funneled 870 grand to Brielle. You spend 60 on me for strawberries. His grin cracked. I met her today. Panic flashed across his face. Why would you see her? She came to me. What did she say? She said, I held his gaze, 870,000. You gave willingly. His mouth opened, no sound. Also said she stepped aside for me back then. And that if she snaps her fingers, you'll crawl back to her. He found his voice. Lena, let me explain. Explain what? That money, it was working capital for her company, a loan. She'll pay it back. A loan? Yes, a loan. 870,000? Her firm used to be hugely profitable, just hit a rough patch. A rough patch? I snorted. The company's dead, $2 million in the hole. Did you know? Silence. How exactly will she repay you? She can't, so she asked me for the 1.8 million windfall to clear her debts. Lena, Chase? I cut him off. Look me in the eye, what are you to her? He stared at the floor. 10 seconds. Nothing to say? I turned toward the stairs. Then don't, Lena. He grabbed my wrist. There's really nothing between us. I'm just attached to the past, felt like helping. Attached to the past, yeah. Attached to the tune of 870 grand? I attached for 3 straight years? I attached through hot pot dinners, birthday cakes, and roses? He went rigid. How do you know? I dug. I shook him off. You think I'm an idiot? His face drained of color. Lena, listen, those were what? Just friends. Say it again. I bored my eyes into his. Say it, say you're just friends. His lips parted, no words. I laughed. I've been married to you 5 years. I carried Noah, kept the house, waited on your mom, brought home my own paycheck. You spent 870,000 on another woman. You balked at a $2,000 purse for me. Lena, you told me you loved me. You lied to me for 3 years. I walked upstairs. Starting tonight, you sleep in the guest room. Lena, don't like the guest room? Go crawl back to your high school, bang. The door shut, I leaned against it, tears finally spilling. Not sorrow, hatred. Lena, you idiot. Next morning, my mother-in-law arrived, not alone. Brielle trailed right behind her. I stood in the living room watching them settle in. Mom, what is this about? Eleanor took the sofa and sipped the tea I'd poured. Lena, Chase told me you two fought yesterday. Fought? I gave a cold laugh. Your son funneled 870,000 to another woman. I asked, what's going on? Call that a fight? Other woman nonsense. Brielle and Chase are classmates. Classmates? I looked at Brielle. She perched nearby, innocent smile in place. Cameron, I owe you an apology for yesterday. I was out of line. Apology? Yes, I shouldn't have spoken like that. I kept my eyes on her. Brielle, why are you in my house? To clarify, the money truly was a loan. My company was solid. I intended to repay this year. Then everything collapsed overnight. Overnight? Right. Your firm bled red all last year, broke in January. You've been tapping Chase since 2021, 3 years, and paid back nothing. A flicker of irritation crossed her face, quickly smoothed. Cameron, you've certainly dug deep, naturally. Still, this is between Chase and me. Why should it involve you? Involve me? I laughed. Chase is my husband. Every dollar he owns is Riley money. You siphoned off 870K, that's my money. He gave it freely. Freely? I nodded. Fine, carry on. I turned to Eleanor. Mom, anything else? She set down her cup and cleared her throat. Lena, creditors are hounding Brielle. In 7 days they'll show up at her door. So? That demolition compensation, could you? No. You haven't heard me out. Done. 1.8 million is premarital money my parents left me. I won't give a cent to anyone. You. Eleanor sprang up. Lena, how can you be so heartless? Heartless? I rose too. Mom, in 5 years as your daughter-in-law, when have I ever been unreasonable? You ignore your son giving 870 grand to another woman. But I'm unreasonable because I won't hand her my inheritance. It's a loan. She'll repay. With what? I sneered. Her company's dead, $2 million in debt. How? Eleanor was speechless. Brielle stood. Cameron, are you implying I'm a deadbeat? Do you have repayment ability? I'll find a way. What way? Keep hitting up my husband, you. I looked her straight in the eye. Brielle, let me be crystal clear, say it. I don't care what you are to Chase. My money is off limits. That's your final word, yes. She turned green, swiveling to Eleanor. Auntie, look at her attitude. Eleanor patted her arm. Brielle, easy. Then to me, Lena, we're family. Money shouldn't come between us. Brielle's in crisis, why not lend a hand, family? I chuckled. Mom, is Brielle your daughter-in-law, or am I? You are. But what? Brielle and Chase go way back. Helping her is only neighborly. Neighborly? I inclined my head. Fine, then you help. You've got your pension, write her a check. Eleanor's face darkened. My little pension wouldn't make a dent. Then let Chase. He already lent 870 grand, let him cough up more. He doesn't have, she caught herself mid-sentence. I narrowed my eyes. He's tapped out? Spent the 870, maxed the cards, took every loan he could, so now you come for mine? Eleanor went white. Brielle gaped. How did you know? I didn't answer. I looked at them and enunciated every word. My money. My rules. You want it, keep dreaming. Eleanor and Brielle left. Before walking out, Eleanor hurled a parting shot. Lena, don't come crying later. I ignored her. I shut the door, pulled out my phone and called the lawyer, Dominic. It's Lena-Zo's friend. Cameron, hi. Zoe filled me in. What can I do for you? I'd like to know how to protect my premarital assets if I file for divorce. A brief silence. Cameron, can we meet? This is too complex for a phone call, sure. You pick the time and place. That afternoon I sat across from Dominic. 38, glasses, mild voice, razor-sharp. I laid everything out: wire transfers, chat screenshots, maxed out cards. When I finished, his brows knit. Cameron, this is messy. How so? First, your eminent domain payout is clearly premarital. As long as it never mixed with marital funds, it's entirely yours in a divorce. Never mixed, it stayed in my personal account. Good. He nodded. Problem is, the $870,000 your husband gave that woman probably came from marital property. His salary, $401K match, credit lines, car loan, exactly. All marital assets or debts. What does that mean for me? It means half of that 870 is theoretically yours. I froze. And he went on, if his credit card balances and loans were used for Riley living expenses, you may be on the hook for half the debt. But every dime went to Brielle, which is why evidence is everything. He adjusted his glasses. Prove he funneled marital money to an affair partner without your consent and the court can label it dissipation. You'd keep your half and he could be penalized in the property split. I have the transfers. Transfers prove money moved, not motive. And chat logs. Let's see the tone. I handed him my phone. After a minute his frown deepened. Cameron, the talk is flirty, but it's not a smoking gun. What counts as a smoking gun? Hotel receipts, intimate photos, a recording where she admits the affair. I said nothing. He studied me. Gather more. Nail the adultery and you'll own the courtroom. I understand. I stood. Dominic, one more favor, shoot. I want Brielle's corporate filings. The shell company she claims folded? She says she's $2 million in the red. I need to see the cap table. Public record. Easy, thanks. Back home, Chase was already there. He sprang off the couch when I walked in. Lena, where have you been? Errands. What kind? None of your business. I headed for the stairs. He blocked me. Lena, we need to talk. About Brielle. I stopped and looked at him. What exactly do you want to say? He drew a slow breath. I admit I've let things get too close. But I swear we never crossed the line. Never crossed the line, never. Those texts? The dinner pics? Normal stuff between friends. I laughed. Friends call each other baby? He froze. Friends miss you? Friends send roses on birthdays? That was what? Words failed him. I held his gaze. Chase, do I look gullible to you? I didn't. You romanced her for 3 years, burned 870 grand. And now you want my windfall to settle her debts. Yet you claim you stayed inside some mythical boundary? Lena, you think I'm stupid? I shook off his hand and climbed the steps. Wait. He followed. Lena, Brielle's creditors are circling. If she doesn't get the money in 7 days, her problem. But I turned. Chase, are you asking me to pay for her? Fine? His eyes lit up. Double quotes, really. I nodded. With one condition. Name it, divorce. Color drained from his face. What did you say, divorce? I kept my voice flat. If you love her, man up, divorce me and run to her. Keep your half of the 180. I don't want it. Lena, have you lost your mind? I'm perfectly sane. I stepped closer. Let me spell it out. Cut her off completely and we stay married. Keep playing house with her and we're done. Your call. I walked into the bedroom and shut the door. Outside, Chase stood for the longest time. Not a word. 3 days later, Dominic emailed Brielle's articles of incorporation. I opened the PDF and stared. To shareholders listed, Brielle, 70%, the other name, Chase, 30%, silent partner, his SSN on the subscription agreement, yet his name nowhere in the public filings. Now it made sense. No wonder he fought so hard. The 870 wasn't a loan, it was capital contribution. When profits rolled in, he'd pocket dividends. When losses hit, he expected me to bail him out. I crushed the phone in my grip. The doorbell rang. I opened it. Brielle stood alone, complexion gray. Cameron, can we talk privately? Speak. She inhaled. I'm pregnant. Pardon? I'm pregnant. She pressed a hand to her belly. The baby is Chase's. I stared. She looked earnest, rims of her eyes pink. I know this is brutal, but I want to keep it. Chase says he'll take responsibility. But the creditors hound me day and night. I can't even rest. Cameron, please. Tears slipped free. Help me and help this innocent child. I stayed silent. Finally I spoke. Brielle, how far along? 2 months. 2 months, yes. I nodded. Did you get your period last month? She faltered. September 15th you posted another day of killer cramps. Her face blanched. That was 20-odd days ago. Pregnant 2 months yet posting about menstrual pain? I'm Brielle, last chance. I locked eyes with her. Are you actually pregnant? Her lips trembled, no sound came. I smiled thinly. Get out, Lena. You heard me out. I pointed at the door. Set foot here again and I call the cops. Her features twisted. Think you've won? Think Chase will choose you? He never loved you. He only married you because what? I asked calmly. Because back then I wouldn't have him. You were the fallback. That's so, yes? She shrieked. He pities you, nothing more. I didn't move, just watched her finish, then get lost. I closed the door. Leaning against it, I shut my eyes. He only pities you. Chase, the bill is coming due. Night. Chase stormed in. He charged upstairs. Lena. I sat on the living room sofa, motionless. Lena, Brielle told me you made her cry? Made her cry? She said you told her to get lost, correct? How could you? He paced frantically. She's carrying a child. She isn't pregnant. What? I said, she's not pregnant. He froze. She lied. Impossible. She showed me the test, a home stick? I snorted. She posted about period cramps 3 weeks ago. You're a municipal clerk, can't you do basic math? His complexion changed. Sticks can be borrowed, bellies can be padded. Chase, do you lack judgment or just refuse to use it? He had no answer. I stepped closer. Last offer. What offer? Cut her off completely. Transfer every share you own in her shell and disappear from her life. His face went chalk white. How did you know? I know more than you think. I eyed him. Silent shareholder, 30%. The 870 was equity, not a loan. Profits for you, losses dumped on me. Chase, what exactly am I in your ledger? Lena, let me explain. No explanation needed. I cut him off. One question. Who do you choose? He hung his head, mute. I counted to 10, fine. I turned toward the staircase. Your silence speaks. You chose her, Lena. He grabbed my wrist. No. I was momentarily stupid. Stupid for 3 straight years? I stupid enough to burn 870 grand. We'll earn it back, not happening. I yanked free. She's 2 million underwater, your stake is worthless. Yet you still want me to cough up 1.8 to plug her hole? Lena, it's not plugging, it's what? I locked my gaze on him. Chase, you want me to hand over my money to save your little high school romance? He couldn't find a word. I smiled. 1.8 million, not a penny. I'll draft the divorce papers myself. I turned and walked into the bedroom. Tomorrow I'll email them to you. You have 3 days to think it over, Lena. 3 days. If you don't sign, we meet at Eastbrook Family Court. Bang. The door shut. 3 days later, I didn't get Chase's answer. What I got was a full family ambush. Eleanor, Walter, Chase's older sister, her husband, they all showed up, and Brielle. The living room was packed. I stood at the foot of the stairs, looking down at them. What's this supposed to mean? Eleanor stood, face ashen. Lena, are you trying to drive the Colburn family into the ground? What did I do? You want a divorce? You want Chase left with nothing, yes. On what grounds? On the grounds that he gave another woman $870,000. I kept my voice even. On the grounds that he's a silent partner in her company. On the grounds that he lied to me for 3 years. So what? Eleanor shrieked. Brielle said she'll pay it back. All you have to do is lend her. No, you, Mom. Chase stood. Let me. He walked over. Lena, I know I've wronged you these past years. But divorce, it's too extreme. We have Noah. Noah takes my last name, Sterling. He froze. I said, Noah takes my name and I keep custody. That's impossible. Eleanor rushed forward. Noah is the Colburn grandson. Why should he take your name? Because I'm his mother. And I looked at Eleanor because you sided with an outsider against me. You've lost the right to be his grandma. Eleanor sputtered, speechless. Chase's sister rose. Lena, that's out of line. Whatever Mom did, she's still your mother-in-law. How can you, sis, when you married, did your mother-in-law ever ask you for 1.8 million to pay off your husband's high school debt? She froze. Didn't think so. Then spare me the lecture. Her face reddened, she couldn't answer. Finally Brielle spoke. Cameron, I know you hate me. Hate you? I laughed. You flatter yourself. You make me sick. What did you say? I said you're disgusting. I looked her over. Brielle, the guy you let me have back then, you want him returned now? I never. I cut in. Then what do you call 3 years of flirting? What do you call taking 870,000? What do you call making him your silent partner? Her face went white. You two got back together 3 years ago, didn't you? The room went dead quiet. Everyone stared. Chase turned even paler. How did you know? Thought I was blind. I stepped right up to him. Chase, those 870,000 didn't start moving in 2021. Your pension withdrawal record shows March 2021, right when you reunited, right? You bankrolled her company, took shares, pocketed dividends, and left me to plug the losses. Cute plan. Lena, let me explain, save it. I pulled a voice recorder from my bag. This is yesterday at your mom's house. You and Brielle. I pressed play. Chase's voice rang out. Brielle, don't worry, I'll handle Lena. She'll fork over the 1.8 million. Brielle's voice. Chase. Will it work? She seems impossible. Eleanor's voice. Relax. If my grandson says it's fine, it's fine. I've been that woman's mother-in-law for 5 years. She'll obey. Chase's voice. Mom, talk to her. If that fails, tell her Brielle's pregnant. Brielle's voice. But I'm not pregnant. Chase's voice. Fake it. Once we get the money, you miscarry. The recording ended. Silence thick, suffocating. I stared at Chase. His face had lost every last drop of color. Anything else you'd like to explain? You what? He had nothing. Brielle covered her face and started to sob. Eleanor collapsed onto the sofa, wordless. I smiled. Chase, let me make this crystal clear. I drew a folder from my bag. Divorce agreement. I laid it on the coffee table in front of him. The $1.8 million condemnation award is my premarital property. It has nothing to do with you. The 870,000 you blew on your mistress is marital money, and I reserve the right to sue for it. Noah stays with me. You pay $3,000 a month in child support. We bought the house after we married. I put down the deposit. We paid the mortgage together. I want 70%. Lena. Eleanor finally found her tongue. In your dreams. Not dreams. My voice stayed flat. Law. I turned to Chase. Sign. I won't. He found his voice at last. Sue me if you dare. Fine. I took the papers back. See you at Eastbrook Family Court. I headed for the door. Oh, one more thing. I glanced over my shoulder. You're municipal. Silent investment in a private enterprise. That's a breach of ethics, isn't it? His face turned pure green. You wouldn't dare report me to ethics. Watch me. I smiled. Chase, I married you 5 years ago, gave you Noah, looked after your whole family. And you repaid me how? 3 years of lies and 870,000 worth of humiliation. My turn now. I opened the door. Dominic, they're all inside. Dominic stepped in, two assistants behind him. Murdoch Colburn. Who are you? I represent Cameron. Dominic adjusted his glasses. She has instructed me to file for divorce and to sue you for the dissipation of marital assets. What? In addition, he looked at Brielle. Cameron is bringing a civil action against Ms. Rowan to recover the community property she received. Brielle went even wider. At the same time, Dominic went on, we will submit evidence of your illegal investment to the relevant authorities. Chase was shaking. I stood by the doorway, watching him. Chase, I remember every promise you made. You said you loved me, you'd care for me, we'd grow old together. Now let me tell you, my smile turned ice cold. 1.8 million. Not 1 cent. I'll sign the divorce papers and the condemnation windfall stays with Sterling, not Colburn. The day we met in court, Chase showed up. He'd lost weight, eyes sunken, stubble everywhere, no trace of the respectable municipal he used to be. He saw me, lips twitching. Lena, I ignored him and took my seat beside Dominic. The hearing went smoothly. My evidence chain was airtight. Exhibit 1, bank transfers 47 payments, totaling 870,000 over 3 years. Exhibit 2, 38 WhatsApp screenshots proving their affair. Exhibit 3, corporate filings showing Chase as a 30% silent partner. Exhibit 4, the recording of Chase, Brielle, and Eleanor plotting to steal my award. Exhibit 5, Chase's credit card and loan statements, personal debt pushing 500,000. After reviewing everything, the judge frowned. Defendant, any response? Chase stood at the lectern, lips quivering. Your Honor, I admit fault. But that money I lent it to her, I didn't squander. Lent? Dominic stood. You claim it was a loan. Do you have a promissory note? A repayment schedule? Any written proof? No. 870,000 over 3 years, no paperwork, no plan. Your loan is nothing but empty testimony. Moreover, you're a 30% silent shareholder in Ms. Rowan's company. You weren't a lender, you were partners. Your Honor, I can explain further. Dominic cut in. The recording shows the defendant, Ms. Rowan, and his mother conspiring to defraud the plaintiff of her separate property. That's not a loan, that's attempted fraud. I didn't. Chase blurted. I only, defendant. The judge rapped his gavel. Silence. Chase clamped his mouth shut. The judge looked from side to side. The facts are clear and evidence ample. The defendant, during marriage, maintained improper financial relations with a third party, dissipated community assets, and conspired to appropriate the plaintiff's premarital property. The petition for divorce is granted. Regarding property division, the plaintiff's $1.8 million condemnation award is separate property and remains hers. The marital residence, appraised at $1.2 million, was purchased with a $200,000 down payment from the plaintiff and joint mortgage payments. The plaintiff's claim for 70% is adjusted to 60%. The $870,000 wrongfully transferred to the third party shall be charged against the defendant's share. The defendant's personal debt of $500,000 incurred for the benefit of an extramarital affair and unrelated family expenses is assigned to him alone. Custody of the minor child, Noah, is awarded to the plaintiff. The defendant shall pay $3,000 monthly support. Any objections? None, I said. Chase slumped in his chair, speechless. After the session, I walked out of Eastbrook Family Court. The sun was shining. Dominic followed. Cameron, congratulations. Quinn, Dominic. If you need anything further, call anytime. Will do. We shook hands. As I turned to leave, Chase ran after me. Lena. I stopped. Lena. Do you have to be this ruthless? I faced him. What's ruthless? You reported me. I'll be disciplined. I know. Municipal discipline ends my career. That's your problem, Lena. His eyes reddened. Please, I'm begging you, drop the report. I'll apologize. I'll kneel, no need. I cut him off. Chase, you know I used to love you. For 5 years of marriage, I really believed I'd married a good man. But you lied to me for 3 of them. You blew $870,000 on another woman and then had me help pay her debts. You sat there, your mom, your high school, and you plotting how to siphon off my money. Chase, what exactly did you take me for? He hung his head and said nothing. I drew a long breath. I'll think about withdrawing the whistleblower report. His eyes flashed. Really? With one condition. What? From this day on, don't ever let me see you again. He froze. Wire Noah's child support to the account I specify. I'll honor visitation, but don't contact me directly. Can you do that? A long silence finally cracked into a whisper. Yes, good. I turned and walked away. After a few steps, he called after me. Lena. I didn't look back. I'm so sorry. I stopped. For a long moment. So am I said. Sorry I ever married you. Life after the divorce was calmer than I'd expected. Noah stayed with me kindergarten in the morning, home in the afternoon, park on weekends. I invested the eminent domain payout. The interest covers our daily expenses. At work I transferred to another division, putting the gossip behind me. Zoe dropped by. Lena, how are you doing? Pretty good. And that scumbag? No idea and no curiosity. She nodded. Word is Briel's creditor camps outside her door every day, Also, Chase is under investigation at City Hall, is he? Thought you said you wouldn't report him. I smiled. I didn't. Then how? He was a silent partner. The company collapsed. Creditors sued. The court traced the registration and tipped off his department. So we blinked, then burst out laughing. Karma. What goes around comes around. I said nothing. Outside, the sun was perfect. Noah was in the living room building with Lego, his laughter drifting in. Mom, look at my castle. Amazing. I walked over, crouched, and lifted him. Honey, can mommy ask you something? What? Do you like the way we live now? He tilted his head. I love it. Why? Because now you smile every day. I stilled. Mommy didn't smile before? Before sometimes you cried. My eyes watered. Mommy won't cry anymore. Promise, promise. I hugged him tight. My phone buzzed. Dominic. Cameron, a quick update. Shoot. Chase got demoted and moved to some back office branch. Briel's been sued. Her assets are frozen. Got it. You sound indifferent? I smiled. Dominic, their fortunes are no longer my concern. Fair point. After the call I gazed out the window, sky blue, clouds white. Lena, you're free. 6 months post-divorce, an unexpected call came. Chase's older sister. Lena, mom's had a stroke. She wants to see Noah. I went quiet. I know you resent her, but she's half paralyzed in the hospital. I don't resent her. What? I simply don't want any connection left. I stared outside. Hate is exhausting. I choose neutrality. But Noah is her grandson. Noah is my Noah. I cut in. I won't block him from your family. Visitation follows the decree. Understood. Take care of her. I hung up. Zoe, listening, asked, you honestly don't hate her? No. Why not? I thought. She was once a bullied young wife too. When her turn came, she thought oppression was tradition. Zoe frowned. Doesn't excuse cruelty. Of course not. I nodded. But I don't need hatred. Her present state is consequence enough. Zoe pondered, then grinned. You've changed how? Used to swallow everything. Now what? Now you're fierce. I laughed, am I? Absolutely. She looked at me. Lena, you're shining. I know. In the mirror, 32, divorced, raising a 4-year-old, yet my eyes sparkled. Days later, an unknown number rang. Cameron. Speaking. It's Chase. I paused. His voice was drained. Cameron, I want to apologize. Unnecessary. I know I hurt you, wasted our money, betrayed, Chase. I stopped him. Your apology is meaningless to me. Live your life. Don't disturb ours again. Lena, goodbye. I blocked the number. Sunlight streamed in. A new life had begun 1 year later. I sat in my new office, watching the Horizon Finance manager, $15,000 salary. Modest enough, I bought a 90 square meter condo near Noah's school with the payout. Noah, now 5, trots to pre-kindergarten with his little backpack. Mom, the teacher praised me today. Great job. Sweetheart, she loved my essay. What did you write? My mommy. I laughed. May mommy read it? He handed me the notebook, crooked letters forming. My mommy is pretty. She takes me to school and picks me up. She cooks yummy food and never scolds me. I love my mommy. My eyes misted. Mommy loves you too, darling. After work, I stopped at the cafe for a latte while Zoe ran late. Sunlight poured through the windows. Cameron. I turned. A man in glasses smiled. I blinked. Dominic? Long time no see. May I join you? Please. He ordered an Americano. How is Cameron these days? Promoted, housed, Noah's in school. I'm content. He studied me. I've always wanted to ask, why did you expose Chase? I didn't whistleblow. The corporate registry you traced for me surfaced in court and reached his department. Why request that search? I considered. He owed me honesty. 3 years of lies, squandering our savings, coveting the eminent domain money. If he'd owned up and signed the papers, I'd have walked away. But he gambled on your compliance. Exactly. I smiled. I merely showed him I'm not a pushover. His eyes glinted. You've changed brighter than last year. Quinn. We talked work, kids, futures, he asked. Ever think of dating again? No, why? Because my life is already good. He nodded. So we arrived. Dominic rose. Call if you ever need anything, Cameron. I will. He left. Zoe watched him, then me. That lawyer has a thing for you. Nonsense. I'm serious. She grinned. Sure you won't consider? I gazed out. I'm sure. I'm exactly where I want to be. Sunlight danced on the lot's foam. A year ago, divorce felt like the apocalypse. Today I know it was simply a new beginning. Chase, Quinn, you taught me I can thrive on no one's terms but mine. Lena, live for yourself alone.